Signal from the past darkness. For 250 years, the underground facility had stayed silent. No sound, no movement, only dust and metal. But then, something changed. A soft beep echoed through the silent halls. Lights flickered. Old machines powered up after centuries of sleep. A message long forgotten was finally received. In the center of the facility, a large cryopod stood covered in dirt and time. Red lights blinked on its control panel. Steam hissed out, and then movement. Inside the pod, a figure opened his eyes. His name was Aaron. He was not an ordinary human. He was created for war, faster, stronger, smarter than normal people. A super soldier. The last weapon of Earth. As the pod opened, Aaron fell to his knees, gasping. Cold air filled his lungs. His body trembled. He looked around, confused. Where am I? He thought. His memory came back in flashes. War. Explosions. Screaming. And then, silence. He stood up slowly, his body still adjusting. The room was dark, broken, and full of machines covered in dust. Screens were cracked. The floor was covered in rubble. But one screen blinked with light. Aaron walked to it. The message played. A woman's face appeared. She looked tired, her uniform dirty. If you're seeing this, she said, then you are our last hope. Earth has fallen. The enemy is everywhere. We failed, but maybe you won't. The screen went black. Aaron's fist clenched. He walked down the hallway. Dead robots lay broken on the ground. Signs of a battle long ago. He picked up a device from a locker. It scanned his hand and beeped. Welcome, Captain Aaron. The lights in the room turned on. A table opened from the wall. Inside was a weapon, a sleek, dark rifle. It was locked with a DNA code. Only one person could use it. Aaron picked it up. The weapon hummed in his hands. Perfect fit. His eyes narrowed. Time to finish what we started, he said quietly. Above the surface, the world had changed. The sky was purple. Buildings floated in the air. Alien ships flew like birds through the sky. This was not Earth. Not anymore. This was Mars. Now ruled by the Vorak, the alien empire that had destroyed humanity. In a control tower high above the city, a Vorak, commander noticed something strange. General, said a soldier, we've picked up an old human signal. Underground. Unknown location. The general hissed. Ignore it. The humans are extinct. But sir, this signal is military level. Encrypted. The general's eyes glowed red. Send a scout. Check it out. But be careful. Sometimes, the dead do not stay dead. Back. In the underground facility, Aaron found a hidden room. Inside, there were holograms of Earth. He watched in silence. Cities burning. Human ships falling from the sky. People screaming. Then, nothing. He dropped to one knee. He had trained all his life to protect humanity. And now, it was gone. But not forgotten. Behind him, a wall opened, slowly. A small drone flew out and scanned him. Status active. Human soldier online, it said. Aaron turned to it. Are there others? The drone buzzed. Unknown. Your activation was delayed. All other pods. Offline. He looked up at the sky through a broken ceiling. Then I start alone. The drone beeped again. Warning. Alien life forms detected above. Weapons recommended. Aaron picked up his rifle and nodded. Let them come. Far away, in a massive alien ship orbiting Mars, a hooded figure stood before a screen. The screen showed a red dot blinking underground, so one of them survived, the figure said. A deep voice answered behind him. Do you want us to kill him? The hooded figure turned slowly. Under the hood, his face was human. He smiled. No. Let him come. I want to see if the old legends were true. Aaron climbed out of the underground hatch and stood on the surface of Mars. The air was dry. The sky was strange. Alien towers rose around him, but he was not afraid. His mission was clear. Find the enemy, find the truth, and bring back the fight. Even if he was the last human soldier, a spark of hope still lived, and hope can be dangerous. The forgotten enemy, the city was not dead. It was worse. It was silent. Aaron stood at the edge of a ruined transport station, on Mars, hidden in the shadow of a broken wall. Above him, alien ships moved like birds of prey. They patrolled the skies without fear, because no one had challenged them in over 2 centuries. But today, that was about to change. Aaron moved carefully through the alleyways. The city was built over the bones of an old human colony. Now it belonged to the Vorik Empire. Everything smelled of metal, oil, and something rotten. Glowing signs in a strange alien language blinked across buildings. Tall, pale-skinned aliens walked with robotic guards at their side, but Aaron kept to the shadows. He studied them. They were fast, precise, dangerous, but arrogant. They thought the war was over. They thought wrong. In the command tower of Zone 7, General Varkos stood before a massive window staring down at the city. His armor glowed dark blue. His face, like cracked stone, showed no emotion. Still no trace of the signal? He asked coldly. "No, General," said the soldier. "But several drones were destroyed, cut cleanly. Human tech." Varkos turned slowly. "Impossible. Humans died 250 cycles ago." The soldier hesitated. "Or maybe one survived." Varkos narrowed his eyes. "Send in the Blood Scouts, and inform the Watcher." The soldier flinched. Even among the Vorik, the Watcher was feared. "Yes, General." Beneath the city, Aaron found an entrance to the old subway tunnels. They had collapsed in many places, but something strange drew him in. There were markings on the walls. Not alien, human. He touched the symbols. A hidden door opened with a hiss. Inside, a secret room flickered to life. Maps, weapons, photos, records. It was a human resistance base, long abandoned but not forgotten. Then, he heard breathing. Someone was watching him. He spun, rifle raised. Young girl, no older than 17, stood with her hands up. Her skin was pale, her eyes bright. Not fully human, but not alien either. "You're one of them?" she asked softly. "I'm human," Aaron said, lowering his weapon. She stared in shock. "They said you were myths, ghosts. My father told stories about the warriors who would return. I thought it was just hope." "What's your name?" he asked. "Lyra." "Are there more like you?" She nodded. "Scattered. Hiding. We don't fight anymore. Those who tried were erased." Aaron's jaw tightened. Not anymore. In a dark chamber above the clouds, the Watcher stood still. Screens floated in the air, each showing a different part of the city. He wore a long cloak and his face was hidden behind a mask. But behind that mask was a human face. He had betrayed Earth, sold secrets to the Vorak, and now he was their prophet, their strategist, their weapon, and he had just felt something familiar. "So, he lives," the Watcher whispered. His hand hovered over a screen. It showed Aaron walking with the girl deeper into the tunnels. "I trained him myself, long ago, before the fall." He tapped the screen. Red lights blinked. "Let's see what he remembers." As Lyra led Aaron to an old lift, she spoke quietly. "The Vorak don't kill everyone. They experiment. Some of us were born in labs. Part human, part Vorak. We're not accepted by anyone. But you survived," Aaron said. "That means you're strong." She looked at him. "Are you here to fight them?" "No," Aaron said. "I'm here to end them." They reached a secret bunker deep underground. A small group of survivors lived there. Men, women, children, all silent, all afraid. But when they saw Aaron, everything changed. They stared at him like he was a god. An old man stepped forward. I never thought I'd see one of you again. I'm not the last, Aaron said. Just the first to wake. The old man smiled. Then maybe we still have a chance. But before Aaron could speak, alarms went off. Lyra's eyes widened. They've found us. Aaron grabbed his rifle. Get everyone to the lower tunnels now. In the tunnels above, black figures dropped from the ceiling. Vorak blood scouts. Tall, fast, silent killers. Their blades shimmered, their skin absorbed light. They moved like shadows, but Aaron was ready. The first one leapt at him. He fired without hesitation. One shot, clean kill. The others charged. For the first time in centuries, human gunfire echoed through the tunnels. It was brutal, fast, pure skill. Aaron moved like lightning, using cover, predicting attacks. The rebels watched in awe. They had never seen anything like it. What is he? One whispered. He's what they fear, Lyra said. The last scout tried to run. Aaron caught him and slammed him against the wall. Who sent you? He growled. The scout laughed, blood in his mouth. You are too late. He knows. The Watcher knows. Aaron froze. The Watcher. The scout's eyes rolled back. A self-destruct implant activated. His body burned to ash. Hours later, Aaron stood outside the bunker, staring into the distance. Lyra joined him. Who is the Watcher? Someone I knew, Aaron said quietly. Someone I trusted. Before the end. Can he be stopped? Aaron looked up at the stars. He must be. Behind them, a child touched the old resistance wall. A symbol glowed, half-burned, but still there. A symbol of the old earth, a phoenix rising from fire. Hope, and the fire was back. The hunter becomes the hunted. The hunt had begun. But it wasn't Aaron who was hunting anymore. The enemy had changed the game. Above Mars, in orbit, a black ship moved in silence. It had no lights, no engines visible, no sound. It drifted like a ghost through space cloaked from sensors. Inside, the Watcher stood alone in a dark chamber surrounded by screens. His eyes watched Aaron's every step. He still moves like a soldier, the Watcher whispered, voice calm, almost proud. But does he still think like one? He pressed a symbol on the screen. Red runes glowed. Release the shadow unit. No weapons, no mercy. I want to test him. Behind him, several tall, sharp-limbed creatures stepped from cold chambers. They wore no armor. They carried no guns. They were bred only to hunt. And now, their prey had returned from the past. Below, on the surface, Aaron and Lyra moved through the lower tunnels with a small recon team. The resistance camp was hidden for now, but Aaron knew it wouldn't last. The Vorak were watching, waiting. They're not just searching anymore, Aaron said, his voice sharp. They're reading our moves. Lyra nodded, walking beside him. How? We don't use comms, everything is off-grid. Aaron stared ahead, silent. His thoughts were not in the tunnels. They were in the past. He remembered a mission, top secret. He and another soldier, callsign Warden, were sent to test human psychic link tech. Dangerous, unstable, but powerful. But that tech was lost. Or stolen. He knows me, Aaron said. The Watcher. He's not just Vorak. He's something else. You mean he's human? Or he was? Lyra stopped. How is that possible? Aaron looked her in the eyes. Because I trained him before the fall. Before either of them could speak again, the lights in the tunnel blinked. One by one. Then, silence. Then, breathing. Not theirs. It came from the walls. Crawling. Scraping. Like metal against bone. The team raised their weapons. Motion sensors aren't picking anything up, said one soldier. That's the point, Aaron said. They're already here. A scream, then static, then nothing. When they turned around, the last man in the line was gone. No blood, no body, just gone. Lyra froze. What? What are they? Aaron scanned the shadows. They're not soldiers, they're cleaners, sent to erase us. Suddenly, one of the creatures lunged from above. Pure muscle, sharp claws, glowing eyes. Aaron fired a shot, but it dodged like smoke. Chaos exploded. In the flashing lights, they saw glimpses, long arms, serrated teeth, no fear. The team was overwhelmed. 2 more vanished in seconds. Aaron threw a sonic bomb. The wall shook. The beast retreated into the shadows, but not far. He turned to Lyra. Split up, run silent, meet at point 9 in 1 hour. What about you? She asked. I'm not running, he said. Then he vanished into the darkness. In the upper city, the watcher smiled as the signals showed a heartbeat spike. Aaron's. Still full of fight, he said. Good. You'll make this interesting. He turned to a large sealed chamber in the center of the ship. Inside was a body. Asleep. Frozen. Another human. Female. Young. Soon, I'll show you what else we kept hidden, old friend. Back in the tunnels, Aaron set traps as he moved. Old human tech. Analog. Unpredictable. Perfect. He left decoys, used heat signals to confuse the enemy. He became the ghost now. The predator. One of the shadow creatures stepped into a narrow path. Tripwire, electric surge, flashbang. The creature fell, stunned, just for a second. Aaron jumped from above, landed hard, and fired 2 shots into its skull. The creature twitched, then died. Aaron stood over it, breathing hard, but smiling. So you can bleed, he said. He took its tracking implant, hacked it with his wrist tool. Now he could see them. They were everywhere. He had 30 minutes. Lyra and a wounded rebel reached point 9 first. She kept checking the time, looking at the shadows. The rebel was bleeding badly. Do you think he'll make it? The rebel asked. She didn't answer. Then footsteps. She raised her weapon. Aaron walked into view, covered in dust, blood on his hands, but not his own. We need to move. Now, he said. You survived? She asked. I hunted them back, he replied. But they weren't the real threat. He showed them the implant. They were just testing me. Testing you for what? Aaron looked at the sky through a crack in the ceiling. He's coming, and he brought something worse. Back on the Watcher's ship, alarms blinked. One of the scientists turned. Sir, we found another signal, deep under Titan Station. Another pod. The Watcher's smile returned. Prepare the awakening. The scientist looked confused. But sir, that project was unstable. She wasn't ready. Doesn't matter, he replied. She's not for the war, she's for him. On the screen behind him, 2 names blinked. Project Aaron, active project. Nova, awakening, a storm was rising. The old human legends were not just returning. They were about to collide. And when that happened, even the Vorak would remember fear. The betrayers mark memories do not die. They just wait in the dark, and sometimes they return with a knife. On a cold moon orbiting Jupiter, Titan Station sat hidden beneath thick clouds. A graveyard of broken satellites floated nearby, evidence of old wars. Inside, something ancient stirred. Alarms blinked red. Machines long buried came online. A pod hissed, fog rising around it. Inside, a young woman floated in cryosleep, skin pale, heart slow, eyes shut tight. The label read, Project, Nova status, classified, unstable subject, 0-2 outside the chamber. The Watcher stared through the glass. She was always the best of us, he said softly. Until they chose him instead, a voice replied. From the shadows, she'll remember you betrayed her. The Watcher didn't flinch. No, she'll remember he left her behind. He tapped the screen. Wake her. On Mars, Aaron and Lyra stood in a silent canyon far from the city. Old resistance maps had led them here, to a crashed human vessel buried under rock and time. Its name was barely readable, UHS Resolute. Aaron stared at it for a long time. This ship was classified, off record. How did you know it was here? Lyra asked. He didn't answer at first. Then he said, Because this was the last mission I flew. With him, the Watcher, Aaron nodded. He wasn't always a monster. Once he was my brother, not by blood but by war. They entered the ship. Inside, dust and silence. Dried blood on the walls. Old human armor lay crushed near the control. Deck Aaron activated a dead console. A recording blinked alive. Two voices argued. We don't leave her behind. We don't have a choice. She's unstable. If she wakes up now, she'll kill all of us. Aaron froze. Lyra watched him. What? Was that Nova, he said. Project 002, our strongest, our secret weapon. What happened to her? Aaron looked down, ashamed. We left her, unconscious, sealed in cryo. She was dangerous, and now she's awake. Yes, and she'll come for you, on Titan, Nova gasped as her pod opened. Her body hit the cold floor, eyes wide, breath sharp. She looked around, confused, frightened. Then she saw him, the Watcher. His face was kind, familiar, human. Nova, he said gently. You're safe. Her voice cracked. Where is Aaron? His smile faded. He abandoned you, left you to die. Like they all did. She stared at him. Her memories were broken, like shattered glass. He wouldn't. He did. The Watcher said, voice low. I was the one who saved you. I kept you alive. I remembered. She fell to her knees. Her power pulsed like heat waves. The floor cracked slightly under her. They lied to me. Yes, the Watcher whispered. But I will give you truth, and a target. He showed her a live video of Aaron. Nova's eyes darkened. Bring me to him. Back on Mars, Aaron found something buried in the ship. An old lockbox. Inside was a small device. He plugged it into his arm unit. A hologram played. It was the Watcher, before he became the enemy. If you're seeing this, Aaron, then I'm already gone. Or worse. The recording flickered. I couldn't watch what they did to Nova, what they did to us. So I made a choice. Maybe it was wrong. But I had to act. A long pause. They used us. All of us. Trained us, like weapons. Made us fight, made us forget who we were. Maybe you'll come for me one day. If you do, remember this. We were brothers once. The recording ended. Aaron stood still. Silent. Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. You're not like him. No, Aaron said. But I understand him now. He turned to her. And that makes him more dangerous than ever. Far above, Nova's ship entered Mars orbit. She watched the planet from the window, her face blank. The Watcher stood behind her. What will you do when you find him? He asked. Nova's voice was calm. Too calm. I will ask him why. And then? Her eyes glowed faintly. Then I will burn everything. A message came through the rebel channels. Distorted, full of static. But the words were clear. He's not just leading the enemy. He built it. The Vorak war strategy. It's all human design. He used our minds, our data, our ghosts. Aaron read the message, then he looked up. He didn't just betray us, he became them. Lyra said nothing. Her hands trembled slightly. So what now? She asked. Aaron looked to the sky. We stop him. Before Nova finds me. What if she already has? A new signal blinked on Aaron's screen. Not encrypted, not hidden, just two words. I remember. In that moment he knew. She was here, and she was not the same. Rise of the Forgotten Army War never dies. It waits, buried beneath ash and memory, until someone lights the fire again. Beneath the surface of Europa, a moon covered in ice, a signal pulsed silently through a buried human relay. It had been dead for 247 years. Now it blinked once, twice, then streamed out a message. Omega Protocol, Initiate. On Mars, Aaron stood inside the rebel command bunker. His eyes were locked on the message screen. He had sent out the protocol hours ago. Now, someone or something had answered. What is it? Lyra asked, stepping beside him. Aaron didn't blink. A signal from Europa. That's a deep cryo facility, off record, black level. Human? Yes. Or it was. What did you send? Aaron turned to her. An invitation. He paused. To war. Above, Mars Nova watched from orbit. Her ship hovered like a silent storm cloud. She had not attacked. Not yet. The Watcher stood beside her, watching the same rebel feeds as Aaron. You see what he's doing, the Watcher said softly. He's waking the past. Nova didn't speak. They built you to lead them, he whispered. Not him. Nova looked down at Mars, her voice cold. I don't want to lead them. Then what do you want? She turned to him. Revenge. On Europa, deep under frozen rock and oceans, a vault door creaked open. Lights flickered. Inside were dozens of cryopods. Each one held a human soldier. Project Omega Squad. Elite. Experimental. Erased from records even before the fall of Earth. A voice echoed in the chamber, automated and glitchy. Protocol accepted. Awakening sequence. Begun. One by one, the pods opened. Eyes blinked open. Bodies stepped out. They had no idea the world they were entering, but they remembered how to kill. Meanwhile, back on Mars, the rebels gathered in the canyon stronghold. Aaron stood at the center. Maps glowed on tables. Scouts reported alien movement. Heavy reinforcements arriving in the east sector. The Vorik were preparing for something. They know we're organizing, Lyra said. Good, Aaron replied. Let them come. We don't need to stay hidden anymore. A rebel commander stepped forward. We only have 60 fighters. Most of them untrained. This is suicide. Aaron looked at him. No, he said. This is history waking up. He pressed a button on his wrist unit. A hologram of the Europa vault appeared. We won't be 60 much longer. In orbit, Nova walked, the empty halls of her ship. Her mind burned with memories she couldn't trust. Fragments of her training, her betrayal. The moment they sealed her in the pod, whispering, she's too unstable. She wasn't unstable. She was unfinished. A ghost of the woman she was meant to be. Then a new feed appeared on her screen. Omega Squad. Active. She stopped, stared, her fingers curled into fists. He's building an army. Her breath caught. But it wasn't fear. It was fury. And they still follow him. On Europa, the Omega Squad gathered in formation. Their leader, Commander Silas, stepped forward. Tall, scarred, eyes sharp. He looked at the screen showing Aaron's face. Captain Aaron, last of the Prime series. Mission failed. Presumed dead. A voice replied. Correction. Mission resumed. The squad watched the message from Aaron. Brief. Powerful. Earth is gone. But we are not. You were built for a war they thought was over. It isn't. If you still remember what we were made for, then follow me. Silas turned to his squad. We follow. On Mars, the ground shook, not from an attack, but from landing thrusters. 3 black dropships appeared over the rebel canyon. The rebels raised their weapons. Aaron didn't move. They're ours, he said. The Omega Squad disembarked. Quiet, cold, professional. The moment they saw Aaron, they saluted. Command is yours, sir, Silas said. Aaron nodded once. We move at dawn. Far away, the Watcher stood before a large chamber. Inside, machines hummed. Something massive was being built. A new ship. No, a Titan. 10 times larger than anything the Vorik had flown before. Part alien, part human design. His final answer to Aaron's uprising. He whispered into the dark. Let the past rise. I want the old world to watch what replaces it. A scientist turned to him. What should we name the ship? The Watcher smiled. Call it Extinction. That night in the canyon, Aaron sat alone watching the stars. Lyra joined him. Do you really think we can win? She asked. He was quiet for a long time. "I don't know," he said. "But for the first time in 250 years, we have a chance." He looked at her. "And we have each other. That's more than we had before." She smiled. "So what now?" A light blinked on Aaron's wrist. Incoming transmission. He opened it. Nova's face appeared. No words. Just her eyes, full of pain, and power, and fire. Then her voice. "I'm coming, Aaron. Not to fight beside you, to end you." Aaron stood, heart heavy, then let her come. He turned to the canyon behind him. Dozens of rebels, elite warriors, forgotten soldiers, and the last true human general, ready to rise. Battle for the lost future. The sky over Mars burned. Not with fire, with purpose. Ships, alien and human, filled the clouds like a storm waiting to break. The war that had been frozen for 250 years was awake again, and it was angry. In the Rebel Canyon base, soldiers, human hybrid Omega Squad, prepared for battle. Weapons were checked, armor fitted, final messages sent. Aaron stood in the war room staring at a glowing 3D map of the battlefield. "They'll hit from orbit," said Silas, the Omega commander. "Then move ground troops to encircle us." "Standard, 4X siege tactic," Aaron replied. "He wants to trap us here." Lyra looked at the hologram. "What if we don't wait to be trapped?" Aaron turned to her, eyes hard. "We strike first." Above them, the Watcher stood on the bridge of the Extinction, the massive warship now casting a shadow over half the region. Its engines whispered, its hull humming with unknown energy. Alien and human minds had designed it. It had no weakness. At least, none, he would admit. A Vorak officer turned to him. "The rebels are moving early. Counterattack?" The Watcher didn't answer at first. He simply stared at the map where Aaron's forces were spreading like fire. "Let them come," he said. "I want him to see what I've built." A pause. "And bring Nova to the surface." Nova stepped onto the transport platform, silent as always. Her eyes glowed faintly. Her armor was black with silver streaks. Living metal, linked to her nervous system. Her orders were clear. Find Aaron. Disable command. Remove resistance. But her heart, what was left of it, was not following orders. As the transport dropped toward the surface, she remembered his face. His voice. The moment he walked away from her cryopod, not looking back, and the lie the Watcher had whispered. "He left you. You were never their future." Her fingers twitched. Her power sparked. "Then I'll take the future for myself." On the surface, the battlefield cracked open. The first Vorak shock troops landed hard, attacking from the cliffs. Energy blasts lit the canyon. Omega Squad moved in perfect formation, cutting them down with brutal precision. Aaron led the central charge, rifle in hand. His armor, old but upgraded, bore the mark of the Phoenix, the last emblem of Earth. He moved like a ghost through fire, shooting, striking, leading. For the first time, human troops fought back with equal force, for the first time in 2 centuries. The Vorak retreated. Then the sky changed. A shadow fell across the battlefield. Nova landed, alone. No army, no words. Just a blast of pure force that sent rebel tanks flying. Aaron saw her from across the ridge. Their eyes met. Time slowed. He lowered his weapon. She didn't. They walked toward each other, the battle around them fading into background noise. Lyra shouted into the comm, "Aaron, fall back, she'll kill you." He kept walking. Nova stopped 10 feet away. No expression, only pain. "You came," he said. "You left me," she replied. He stepped closer. "I was ordered to." "And you followed those orders," she said coldly. "Just like always." Her hands began to glow. Energy danced across her skin. "You should have let me die," she whispered. "You weren't a weapon to me," he said. A pause. Her voice cracked. "But that's all I was to them." To him. You're not to me. Don't. Lie to me, Aaron, not now. Then silence, and then she moved. It wasn't a fight. It was destruction. Nova launched herself at Aaron faster than sound. He dodged barely, using smoke grenades and sonic barriers. He didn't want to hurt her. She was faster, stronger, designed to kill. But he knew her. Every move she made, he had once trained beside her. He blocked, countered, redirected. Still, he was losing. Then came the strike. Too fast. She hit him with a shockwave that sent him flying into the canyon wall. He lay broken, blood dripping from his mouth. Nova stood over him, her hand glowing with final energy. I waited for you, she said. I believed in you. He looked up, eyes full of something she hadn't expected. Not fear, not anger. Hope. Then believe in me. One last time. He pressed a small trigger hidden in his glove. Nova's suit locked. A command pulse. Backdoor code. From before. Her limbs froze. Her eyes widened. How? You were always more than the war, he whispered. And I knew one day. You'd need to remember that. Before she could move, explosions rocked the canyon. The Watcher had arrived, his ship, Extinction, lowered, firing at both sides. He didn't care who died now. Nova turned to the sky. The truth hit her all at once. He didn't want her to kill Aaron. He wanted them both gone. He used me, she whispered. Aaron rose beside her. Join me, he said. This isn't about revenge anymore, it's about tomorrow. Nova looked at him. For the first time in years, her rage cracked, and behind it was something human. She turned her hand, powered down the suit. Then let's end him. As the two walked side by side toward the rising battlefield, Aaron sent one final order through his command network. Omega Squad. Rebel units. Prepare. Final assault. We go now. Target? Silas asked. Aaron looked up at the warship darkening the sky. Extinction. And far above, the Watcher smiled. Come, Aaron, he whispered. Come write your ending. Humanity reborn, the world, did not end in fire. It ended in silence, then rose screaming. The battlefield was ash. Smoke curled through broken steel. Soldiers, human and hybrid, stood ready. The air shimmered with heat. Above them, the Vorak Titan ship Extinction hovered like a mountain. In the sky, inside, the Watcher watched them. His hands were steady, his mind calm. They will climb, he said softly. They will bleed. And then they will kneel. Behind him, a Vorak general looked uncertain. But sir, Nova is no longer answering commands. And the rebels are ants, the Watcher interrupted. Let them march. He stepped forward, his human face now barely recognizable, half covered in living metal, more machine than man, more purpose than life. On the surface, Aaron stood beside Nova. Behind them, Omega Squad and rebels waited, armored and armed. Every face bore a different, past but the same question. Is this the final stand? Or the first new chapter? We're going up, Aaron said, pointing to the Extinction. Straight into his ship. We ended at the core. Silas raised an eyebrow. And the defense grid? Nova and I will take point. You clear the decks. Disable the power systems. Lyra stepped forward. And what if you don't make it? Aaron looked at her. Then you will. He paused. This fight is not just about us. It's about what comes after us. That's how humanity survives. Not by strength, but by memory. Nova said nothing, but she nodded. Her silence now meant trust and forgiveness. They launched at dawn, jet drops, old human tech, painted with rebel marks. A full assault. As they pierced the upper air, the Extinction opened fire. The sky became a storm, but the resistance had one thing the Vorak never expected: belief. Ships dodged blasts. Omega Squad dropped into the upper decks. Rebels followed through cracked hangars. Aaron and Nova landed directly on the outer hull. They walked toward the core tower side by side, cutting through elite Vorik guards with brutal speed. Nova was a storm. Aaron was precision. Together, they were the answer. Inside the command bridge, the Watcher watched the walls crack. Systems fail. Lights flicker. He smiled. He came. He opened a vault behind him. Inside, the Arc Core, a device created from stolen human minds, Vorik bioengineering, and something unknown. Something alien. It could rewrite systems, erase entire species, or reshape planets. If I cannot rule the old world, he whispered, then I will burn it and build my own. He activated it. A pulse spread out. Systems across the extinction shut down. But something else woke up. A heartbeat, machine and organic. Something ancient and unfinished. As Aaron and Nova reached the final corridor, a wave of darkness passed. Through the ship, systems glitched, walls shifted. He's activating something, Nova said. A failsafe, Aaron replied. Something we never finished. Project Arc. They said it was too unstable. Then why is it still beating? They reached the bridge doors. Nova ripped them open with a single blast. Inside stood the Watcher, waiting. Brother, he said. Aaron raised his weapon. You lost that word a long time ago. The Watcher stepped forward. The Arc Core behind him pulsed with light and heat. You don't understand. This was never about revenge. Not for me. Not for Nova. Then, what evolution? He spread his arms. We were built for war. We were left behind. Forgotten. But I remembered. I rebuilt the future. Not human. Not alien. Something greater. Nova walked slowly toward him. You lied to me. The Watcher looked at her. No. I freed you. You used me. I gave you purpose. Nova raised her hand and stopped. But Aaron gave me choice. She turned. Stepped back. The Watcher's eyes widened. No. He whispered. You were mine. Aaron fired. The blast hit the Arc Core. It cracked. The ship screamed. Alarms roared. Lights exploded. The extinction began to fall. The Watcher lunged at Aaron, blades drawn, but Nova caught him midair, slammed him into the wall. The Arc Core melted, and with it, so did the command link. Across the galaxy, Vorik fleets blinked. Systems failed. Chaos. And then, freedom. They escaped in silence. The extinction crashed into Mars in a blaze of metal and heat. From the canyon, rebels watched the fire rise. Then, a signal from Aaron. It's done. Cheers erupted. The Watcher was gone, and something new had taken his place. Days passed. Nova stood by a river near the rebel camp, watching the sunrise. Aaron walked to her. Still thinking of leaving? He asked. She nodded. You don't belong to anyone now, he said. I know, she replied. But I need to find out who I am. Without him, without the past. He smiled. Then go, and come back if you want to. She hesitated, then stepped forward, kissed his forehead gently. Don't die, she whispered. I already did, he said. Now I live. The final scene, on Earth, what was once Earth, a small signal blinked, a pod opened, a child stepped out. Young, confused, human, and behind him, hundreds more pods blinked green, ready, alive, reborn. Humanity had not ended, it had hidden, and now, it had returned.